Hello, warrior seniors and families, friends and community members. Well, this is not exactly what you and I had envisioned for this culminating moment in your lives, is it? After all, you didn't do virtual work to get to this virtual graduation, but here we are. Allow me to say it is such an honor to be standing here in front of you, representing your Westerville Board of Education, composed of Miss Jen Altman, Reverend Vaughn Bell, Miss Tracy Davidson, and Dr. Nancy Nestor Baker. There is one reason, as some of you know, one deeply personal reason, why I am especially honored this year to provide the address on behalf of the Board of Education, and I'm deeply thankful to each of them for this honor. Let me begin by sharing what I will not emphasize. I will not diminish your life to this point by suggesting, okay, now you are entering into the real world. Indeed, I will suggest your life experiences have given you an inner strength of which you may not be aware. After all, you were born within the painful time frame we now simply call 9/11. You have grown during a time of deep political divisions. You passed through high school as Westerville mourned the ugliness of 2 police officers being killed in the line of duty. And of course now you are graduating during a once-in-a-century global pandemic. You, my friends, are not entering into the real world. You are and have been in the real world all your lives. And these experiences have forged for you a strength to face the challenges ahead. In that vein, I would like to treat you as the young adults that you are, and I would like you to look forward with vision and hope, because I want to suggest to you 3 practices that, if developed and engaged over time, can begin to bring healing to people and the world around you, even the person in the mirror. Practices that, dare I say, you and I must develop to forge the new world that we so long for, the beloved community spoken of so passionately by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Now, it will take tenacity and resolve. It will take deep amounts of grace and love. And quite frankly, it will take quite a bit of stubbornness, because people will resist you when you engage in these practices. Now, I could have chosen many different qualities and practices like love and joy, and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. That's a great list. But I choose these 3 practices because they too are in such low supply. Simply put, my friends, I urge you to daily embrace your opportunities to listen and to learn and to lead. To listen and to learn and to lead. First, to become good listeners. U.S. Senate Chaplain Barry Black once said, quote, "Listening is often more than hearing. Listening can be an empathetic attentiveness that builds bridges and unites. Listening is more than hearing. It is an attentiveness that builds bridges and unites." Friends, you and I can do that. Healing and understanding can only take place in our world as we invite someone to dialogue about the positions, the opinions that divide us. Even in our disagreements, we must still be willing to meet and listen. After all, there is no deep understanding without truly listening. To be a good listener. Second, to become a good learner. You see, if we as a school district have done our jobs well, You have learned science and technology and history and math, but you've also been exposed to the creative arts and literature and writing and practical skills and so much more. But if we have done our jobs really well, you also have a seed within you which longs to learn more. You see, lifelong learner is not a catchphrase, but it is a position in life. So from engineering to medicine, from firefighting to teaching, from cosmetology to construction worker to career military, from architecture to zoology, and everything in between. Wherever your next phase of life takes you, never stop learning. To be a good listener, to be a good learner, and finally to become a good leader. Leading and leadership are not fundamentally about being up front. Leadership is about serving the greater good with the best that you have. And if this prospect of leading intimidates you, and I know it does for some people, if this bit of leadership intimidates you, let me paraphrase Eleanor Roosevelt. Quote, "We do not have to become leaders overnight. Just one step at a time, meeting each thing that comes up and seeing it as not as dreadful as it appears, and discovering we have the strength to stare it down." End quote. After all, a person's most useful asset is not simply being upfront and declaring themselves a leader, but a person's most useful asset is a heart full of love, an ear ready to listen, and hands willing to help others. I conclude with this reminder. Even with all of the emphasis that you will hear about accomplishment and achievement, and legitimately so, I am reminded of the truth of these words by Dallas Willard. Quote, "The most important thing is not what you accomplish, but the person you become. The most important thing is not what you accomplished, but the person that you become." My friends, to live a life which listens deeply, learns continually, and leads others toward healing is a life well lived. After all, who does not need some healing to function well? As my friend Ernest Klinkstale, principal at our very own Hawthorne Elementary School, communicates, quote, "The brain will not work if the heart is hurt. The brain will not work if the heart is hurt." Friends, you are a soul of unending worth, and so is every other person on the planet. Please hear this final, beautiful, and truthful reminder from author Frederick Buechner. Quote, "Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Don't be afraid. Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Don't be afraid." After all, you are warriors. And so, warriors, are you ready? Are you really ready? Because it's about to get real. On behalf of the Westerville City Schools Board of Education, we congratulate and accept the Westerville North Class of 2020 And at this time, Dr. John Kellogg, Superintendent of Schools, will confer the diplomas. Thank you.